You're listening to LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast.
Hello, you're listening to another episode of LunaKage and Mr. You Suck's Unnamed Wrestling Podcast. That's right, it is part 2 of the SummerSlam weekend spectacular. We have already covered, very briefly I may add, it was a very quick episode, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2, and now we are back again to take care of SummerSlam 2016.
The very first pay-per-view after the brand split.
Yes, indeed.
Which still features both rosters because it's the first Super Show after the brand split.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts going on here. So, we'll kick it off right away with the SummerSlam 2016 pre-show. Let me make
Do we really need... Because we could spend only 30 minutes on this episode too and just talk about the one match that mattered.
I mean, I can just go through these matches and be like, do we care, do we care, do we care? But the first note about the pre-show is actually something I think matters.
Okay.
Renee showed up to the panel like she just finished having sex.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, she might have.
Disheveled hair, didn't even comb it. She's wearing this most low-cut something, and she's like, I'll just throw a blazer on. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I mean...
Damn.
Like... I wouldn't put it past fucking Dean to give it to her in very odd places.
It's just like... You didn't even have time to comb your hair before you got out there. It literally just looks like she has sex hair. It's hysterical. The only other thing really worth mentioning during the pre-show is that Jericho delivered the promo of the year on Tom Phillips.
I think I saw it. I can't remember it, but I think I saw it.
So they apologized to Tom Phillips for getting his name wrong. They're like, if we knew your name was Philip, we would have just said Philip. So they've been calling him Phil for the past couple weeks, I guess. Jericho talks about how he went online and he found G certification for $89.99, and so now he is also a certified G. He says, so you can teach that, but what you can't teach is chemistry. And then Owens goes, yes, you can teach chemistry. I took that in high school. I got a 96. And like, Jericho full stops. He's like, you got a 96 in chemistry? That's great. He's like, yeah, no, it was really good. It's like, and then the promo gets serious because Owens is like, Enzo, you're going to have to go home after this loss and wonder why your father won't look you in the eye, why your sister is crying, and why your mother's wearing a Kevin Owens shirt. Like, then the promo gets real serious, and then it cuts back where Jericho's like, they're gonna get, and Tom Phillips is like, they're gonna get what? It's like, the promo went everywhere.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, and it was serious, and it was great. It's an amazing promo. It's like, that moment was like, okay, so maybe we can have Jericho be a tag team for a while. This is really good. This is really good. Anyways, on to the matches. We have the 12-man tag featuring literally everyone from SmackDown.
Yeah, every tag team from SmackDown.
Every tag team from SmackDown.
I was surprised there was that many fucking tag teams.
Yeah.
And apparently there's still 2 more.
Yeah. Morrow calls the Vaudevillains a throwback tandem, which made me laugh because are the Ascension not also a throwback tandem?
I feel like everyone's a throwback nowadays.
Yeah. Breezango actually get a bit of pop when they enter. No one else cares about anything. Jimmy Uso gets a hot tag that the crowd absolutely refuses to acknowledge and even kind of boos. The finish is a heel turn angle for the Usos as, not like heels, but putting it in motion for a heel turn for the Usos. American Alpha hit Grand Amplitude, but as they're trying to hit it, Jimmy Uso has tagged himself in and gets the splash to take the pin. And it's like, oh, hey, that wasn't cool, dude. There's a good spot in this match where commentary literally goes, does anyone know who's legal right now?
I'm pretty sure they're all over 18.
Yeah.
Although I do appreciate the fact that he's asking and not just fucking going for it.
Yes, this is true.
Because that could cause a lot of problems.
They're all professional adults.
Yeah.
There's a good backstage promo with Baron Corbin. And because they're at the panel and Baron Corbin crashes in, he grabs a mic. And he's like, Huisto, you're a bitch because you were begging your doctor not to be medically cleared so you wouldn't have to wrestle me tonight because I would murder you. And he's like, this pisses me off because I like money. And so I don't have a paycheck today. He's like, so I'm going to murder you next time I see you. I'm going to retire you for good. And like, that's actually a good reason.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Baron Corbin's like, I'm here for the money. If you're not on the card, you're not getting a pay-per-view check. That's a good reason to be pissed.
Right.
The best part of this, though, is he's talking, and then he looks at Booker T's wrist, and he goes, nice watch. Mine cost more. And it was like a great line. Great delivery and everything. I was like, dude, Corbin's getting a little better. He's got some potential going on. We have the Dudley Boys versus Neville and Sami Zayn, and literally no one cares about this match. Moving on. Cesaro versus Sheamus, the best of 7.
By the way, though, it kind of sucks because Dudley Boys are like officially retired.
Officially retired, yes.
Yeah, and they did nothing.
For a year, they did nothing.
God, it sucks.
They were apparently they were on a 1-year contract, and they were negotiating terms for a new contract, and I guess they were said to have signed, but it looks like they didn't, and they're just like, we're done. Peace.
I mean, they don't need it.
No, they don't. I mean, money's nice probably, but they're probably like, we're done. We're out.
It's like there's really not any dream matches for them to have anymore. No. And like, fair enough, like, the tag division is getting, like, a lot better, but like, they don't really, there's really not I want to see this new tag team versus the Dudley Boys type deal.
No, and they've gone from enhancement talent to just straight jobbers.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. We got a year for them. That was good. That's cool. And then we're done.
Got a little more money.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to go about it instead of having them just sit around and like literally job to everyone. And then our last match for the pre-show, Cesaro versus Sheamus. Best of 7, round 1. Cole immediately botches his line by going, it's Cesaro set to take on Cesaro in the best of 7 series.
I mean, in fairness, he got the one person that mattered.
Yeah, I would rather watch Cesaro take on Cesaro in a best of 7.
Just like Brock versus Lesnar.
The coveted mirror match set.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one cares. It's a thumb eye FADC bro kick. Sheamus takes the first game.
He took the second one too.
And he took the second one on Raw tonight.
Tonight on Raw.
SummerSlam 2016 proper. Your curtain jerker for the evening are Enzo and Cass versus Jericho.
Like, fucking Enzo and Cass are great to kick off pay-per-views.
Yeah, no, they're the kickoff people.
Well, it's not kickoff.
No,
but to kick off the pay-per-view.
To kick off the pay-per-view. They're your curtain jerker, because it's like, well, your crowd's going to get heated and, like, ready and excited. So, yeah.
It's a lot better than hearing, like, fucking, I don't know, Mark Henry's music hit.
Oh, God. The only thing that really happens of worth in this match is that we get a name for one of Enzo's moves. He has a top rope DDT called the DDG.
Yeah, the DDG.
But the finish to the match is what it was attempting to try and be a combination pop-up powerbomb code breaker where Owens pops up Enzo and then basically he shatter machines him on the way down with a modified shatter machine. It didn't look good. It was mistimed as all hell. Yeah. And Enzo thankfully has not died.
Yeah, because that looked like it was fun.
It looked terrible. It looked terrible.
Yeah, quite literally, it was the shatter machine. That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But, fuck.
Anyways.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. All right. First real match of the night. Charlotte versus Sasha. The rematch for the women's belts. Sasha immediately atones for her sins from the last Raw match or two by doing a perfect head scissors in the opening minutes.
Yeah.
And then she gets a quick bank statement to surprise Charlotte, and that's kind of the storyline is like the bank statement can happen at any point in this match, and there's a couple times where it gets applied. But like 5 minutes or so in, not even 5 minutes, maybe a little more, there's an extended spot where Sasha's being worked while draped over the turnbuckle ropes, And Charlotte then kind of just like stands on the second rope and picks her up and was attempting to do something and then drops her on one of the ropes and Sasha comes down directly on her head.
No.
What we think was supposed to happen was that she was going to like pick her up and then throw her back on one of the ropes and like, what's that called? Where you just throw them on the ropes and they bounce off.
Throwing him on the ropes.
Yeah, I know. There's a snappier name for it, but yeah, it's to like throw her on her back on the rope, and then she bounces and be like, "Oh no, it hurt." No, she like misses the rope completely, based on whatever the fuck she was trying to do. Her lower back hits the rope, and then her head just crashes to the fucking mat. It looked terrible. It looked absolutely goddamn terrible.
Yeah, and in this match, I don't know if it happened during the match or it happened before, but her back got...
It was actually before.
Yeah.
But this match did not help at all.
Obviously, especially that spot.
Yeah, so Sasha was going in with a back injury. And after that spot, I remember writing down, like, man, Sasha's selling is really great this match. And I'm like, now that I look back on it, knowing that she had a back injury beforehand, I'm like, maybe that wasn't selling.
Maybe it was real.
Maybe she was actually just fucked up by that horribly botched
Maybe
spot.
they're just getting worked.
Yeah. Where am I for my notes? Here we go. There's Charlotte throws Sasha into the corner, kind of puts her in a tree of woe, gets her to the turnbuckle, and sets up for a second rope razor's edge on Sasha. And then Sasha counters it with a fucking Frankensteiner.
Yeah.
It was so crazy good looking. But once again, Sasha lands directly on her head.
I mean, someone's got to land on their head, man.
She's 2 for 2 in the match so far for landing on her head. Charlotte misses a spear as Sasha is on the turnbuckle, and Charlotte ends up halfway out of the ring. So Sasha then grabs her back end and then flips it up over the remaining rope to put her in a Boston Crab through the ropes, that's probably my favorite spot of the match. Strictly because no one was dropped on their fucking head, but also it was a really, really inventive way of doing something. Charlotte tries to hit natural selection, but Sasha grabs her arm during it and gets a surprise bank statement.
Which was cool.
That was really cool. Charlotte starts working Sasha's knees here and there, probably because she's fed up with being hit with double knee moves, which makes actually a lot of sense in storyline. Yeah. Like, late in the match, you start working her knees, you're like, I'm done taking these double knees. Because you get the double knee press over the second rope, she comes flying off the apron with the double knees. I could just see, like, good ring psychology being like, you know what, fuck this, I'm done. If I hurt your knees, you're not going to do that shit to me anymore.
Yeah. It's a shame they didn't point that out.
Yeah, I know. Charlotte whips Sasha into the ropes, and Sasha rebounds with head scissors, FADC bank statements. But you can kind of see that Charlotte slips to the side when in the bank statements, and so that leaves the leverage for her to then just lean back into the bank statement and turn it into a pin with the shoulders down. And that's what it does, and she gets the 1, 2, 3. And I actually really like that finish, because normally the bank statement has a much better, like, point of gravity over the person.
Yeah.
To stop them from happening, but because of the way it was gone into, Sasha's off to the side a little bit more, and so Charlotte can just lean back.
Yeah, like, that was more like a crossface.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it wasn't, it's just, like, Charlotte already had her arm in between the legs, so it just kind of helped to get that part.
Yep.
Get the pin.
Really good match in terms of both storytelling and ring work. I think the storytelling was amazing for this match, but it really hurt with the botches. Like,
it also really sucked that fucking Sasha had to drop the belt so soon too.
Yeah, I guess that was also because she was already had the back injury.
I mean, it was because of the injury for sure, but
I also had a feeling that maybe she was like, "What's up? Hey, I want to go on my honeymoon. I just got married." But
did she just get married?
Yeah, she just got married.
Damn.
But yeah, no, the botches in this match are pretty rough, and it's kind of becoming a thing. Like, you'll see smarks on the internet being like, "Oh, Sasha's a botch machine," and I was never like one to agree. But like the past matches over Raw, and then the match during this, I'm like, "Jeez, you guys need to like bring it down a little bit. It's getting a little insane." It's just one of those things where it's like, I really don't want anyone to get dropped on their head in the wrong way and fucking die, because this is getting dangerously close these days. So. Other than that, really great match. Probably one of my favorites on the card. And, okay, here we go. Apollo Crews versus The Miz. Do you care?
Nope.
Good, because I didn't care either.
Miz wins.
Miz wins.
Fucking bullshit.
IC belt, completely fucking buried. No one cares about this belt. No one cares about this match. John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Do you care?
I care.
I care a whole lot.
I cared a whole lot about this
the
match.
The whole match, like, the biggest story that was being told wasn't even happening in the ring or on TV at all. It was happening in my fucking head. I was like, there's no way they're going to let AJ Styles win this fucking match.
I think there's every reason they would let him win this match.
See, that's what you and Brian were sitting there thinking. And I know it's because you guys are all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and you haven't been doing this for as long as I have. But whenever John Cena is involved and whenever he's down one, everything points to Cena wins. So I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, okay, if AJ loses to this move that just happened, it'll suck, but it'll be alright. You know, I'm just sitting here doing like every single time his fucking shoulders were on the mat, even when it was like fucking some shit that you know would never get a pin.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, fucking, this is it, isn't it? Like fucking shoulder tackle, go for the pin. This is it. This is fucking it. One count. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of shit that was happening in my brain as this was happening. But I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I have a lot of notes for this match, but really the rundown of this match is super easy. They spend the first 5 minutes having a match, and then they immediately cut to the finish. Like, you're at like 8 minutes in this match, and Cena's like, I'm gonna go for the AA.
Yeah.
And then that kicks off the finish of the match.
Yeah.
Because then, I mean, not the finish, but like, they immediately go to the third act of the play.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're going to do everything that is humanly possible to build up to hitting our finishers, kick out, do the super version, and in this case, Cena does the super AA.
Yeah.
And AJ's like, nah, fuck this. He
Yeah.
kicks out.
He kicked out.
And so then AJ hits Styles Clash, FADC, run over, and Phenomenal Forearm, and gets the fucking pin.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it's just like, hey, here's your storyline. John Cena, hit him with everything. AJ, kick out. Look like a beast. Hit him with everything.
Yeah.
Win. Doesn't need to be more. That's amazing.
There was no fucking cheating. Nothing that even remotely resembled foul play.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this great ass match between the top guy of WWE for the last 10 years and the top guy in TNA for the last 10 years. And they fucking gave it to AJ Styles, and it was sick.
There's some good, some points in the match that are worth noting. Like Cena doing a very good Code Red, despite the fact that he's a refrigerator and he shouldn't be doing a Code Red.
Yeah.
He's literally a refrigerator.
He's tried that move a lot of times. But
it was clean looking.
Yeah, it was clean as fuck.
Clean. Can't do a springboard stunner to save his life.
He stopped doing it, too.
But man, when the chips are down, the vegetable and crisper drawers of the refrigerator were able to pull into motion and get that Code Red off.
Yeah, that was sick.
That's right. Moro Ronaldo called a springboard Frankensteiner a Frankensteiner.
Yeah.
And I was like, bless. Bless. But yeah, that's the storyline is the storyline. Everyone hit your shit. AJ kick out. AJ hit that
I
shit
thought
again.
for sure that if he was going to win, it was going to be with the spiral tap. Because like he kicked out of everything else, you know? But they let him have it with a double up.
I don't think they wanted to have that big story end on a move that people might not know.
I mean, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they're going to make it be like a super move.
Yeah.
Or like, I think it'd be a waste if he never does it. You know what I mean? It's like if they're going to debut it as a move that he doesn't do often. Because in TNA, that was his super finisher because he barely ever did it. So like it would have to be a big match like fucking John Cena versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam. So like I just don't know when they're going to have him do it now, if ever.
I think that's just like the storyline needed it to be Styles Clash into Phenomenal Forearm. You have to understand this is a match for the little kiddies as well. They have to understand what the moves are that they're seeing.
Fucking spider.
Yeah, I see him.
He's a creepy crawly guy.
Want me to go kill him?
No.
Okay.
I like spiders.
Okay.
They protect my house from bed bugs.
This is true. Next up, we have New Day versus Gallows and Anderson in a non-match. Jon Stewart comes out, buries himself over hitting Cena with a chair last year.
Which was good.
Which was good because that was extremely stupid and I hated it.
No, I liked it.
I hated it.
I liked it a lot.
Because
it made perfect sense. Because,
I mean,
that reminds me. We didn't do our gimmick, our new gimmick thing.
Screw it.
Fuck.
It was funny that he's basically such a big fucking mark that he came out and hit Cena with a chair.
Yeah, like
that part is funny.
That was great. Because, that was a perfect reason to do what he did. Like, it's not like random celebrity involvement where it's like, I want to be in the finish of the match. It was like...
Yeah, no, I like the reasoning behind it. I just don't like the fact that it was happening.
Then my dude was so fucking boss that even though he's like a fucking 98-year-old man now, I mean, I know he's not that... You know what I mean? He took an AA the next night. Like, he's a celebrity. They don't let them take fucking moves.
Yeah, he's probably ecstatic to take the move.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, he comes out and he's like, and if you're ever going to take an attitude adjustment, tuck your shirt in, kids. No one wants to see that belly.
Yeah.
But he comes out and he's like, I'm going to take Big E's spot on the New Day tonight and be an honorary New Day. And I'll do my best to do the thing Big E does. So he tries to announce them in, and he kind of misses it completely, but it was funny.
Yeah.
New Day enter. Dr. Gallows and Dr. Anderson come out in their Doctor. It's in their admittedly really funny Doctor gimmick.
Yeah. Shout outs to the segment earlier where AJ talks to the club and then fucking Finn Balor shows up.
Yeah.
And then refuses to do the too sweet thing with him. And then as he walks away, they're all like, he wanted to. You know? Yeah.
The only thing noteworthy during the match is that Kofi did a jump over the ropes hip attack, like a suicide dive. He just flips around.
Yeah.
And Marshawn Lynch grabs his crotch on the way out. It was really good looking. Anderson hits Boot of Doom on Kofi. They kill him with the Magic Killer. Jon Stewart runs in to interfere, and there's a long comedy bit where John's tucking in his shirt, so he's ready to get beaten up. And then Gallows and Anderson grab him, and they bring him over to the ring post. And they're like, yeah, we're going to hit him with ring post-itis, which is the name of the move at this point. And they're like, 1, 2... It's a new day! Yes, it is!
This part, too, by the way. I started laughing my ass off because I'm like, they're interfering in their own match?
They're interfering in their own match.
I'm just expecting fucking, because it'd be something they'd do. Like, they went all the way out of the fucking arena just so they can run in on their own match.
Yeah.
Just fucking expecting Kofi and fucking Xavier to run down to make the save. But no. After I thought about it, I'm like, oh yeah, Big E's out.
Yeah, Big E. Yeah, Big E comes down. It's not actually Kofi and Xavier running in on their own match, which would be so hilarious. Oh my god, I crap my pants laughing. Big E comes in and murders Gallows and Anderson.
Then he drinks his own piss jar.
His own formaldehyde, as they call it. Which, I mean, I don't know what's worse. Anyways, the crowd goes wild, which is good, because I like seeing that the crowd's still hot for New Day.
Yeah.
That's nice. That means they're probably still doing well. They'll probably still have the belts for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have it longer than Demolition.
How much longer would they have to go?
I don't know. I think Demolition was at 4:31.
I don't know if I necessarily not that I don't want them.
Yeah, it's that they're running out of people to do stuff with.
If they're going to drop it to anyone, it's got to be the club, right? Who else could they?
It has to be. It's never felt like it was something that they would drop him to, but also at the same time, it's like the only other team you could reasonably drop it to would be Kevin Owens and Jericho,
right?
But I don't think you want that. You want them taking.
You don't want a non-team,
taking
out a team,
and you don't want those guys to be stuck dealing with the tag division when you're close to your main event singles guys.
I mean, they are not they, but Kevin Owens is a main event singles guy. Lest we forget what we just saw.
Oh yeah. Anyways, Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose for your World Heavyweight Championship. Did I say that? I meant mid-card championship.
No. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, the six woman tag match happened after this.
So? 6-woman tag match was in the dead spot.
The first dead spot.
First dead spot.
The dead spot was the U.S. champ match, air quotes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember people being upset, like, Roman still fucking was above the world titles. It's like, dude, it's the dead spot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know, the only reason I was mad about it going in was because I didn't know how much matches there were still, because there's 12 fucking matches, I can't remember. So I thought there might be an actual match, and then, like, the lack of a match happened, and I'm like, oh, this is the dead spot. Okay, I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, that's kind of how it's structured.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to do back-to-back title matches like you could see on NXT.
Yeah, I know they can't.
So, like, they have to structure it like every hour has a main event type deal.
Yeah, I get the way they did it, and there's really no reason to be mad about it, but in the same sense, it almost doesn't matter because at this point in the SummerSlam, your crowd's dead.
Yeah.
From here on out,
the crowd was pretty toasted.
From here on out, the crowd's dead. They've had too much.
Everything after AJ Cena was not quite as good.
Like, you had a 6-hour pay-per-view, and after 2 hours of pre-show, which your crowd is there for, not your viewing audience. But even then, I think the viewing audience checked out.
I was fucking tired.
The viewing audience checked out in the first hour.
I was like, God damn, there's still more?
Yeah.
I think 2 hours for a pre-show is a little much.
It was too much. And so, like, Lord help you if you were trying to watch any of the other stuff that happened the day before.
Right.
It's just like, at this point, we're like, we can't care anymore.
Yeah.
We're done. We're tired.
Like, even kids that don't have a job still got to go to school. Like, holy shit.
So Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose, they had what I thought was a pretty damn good match in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
But no one cared.
Yeah, the crowd was like,
couldn't care. And I don't blame them.
Because, fuck.
So, like, the storytelling is really good. Because, like, Ziggler's like, I'm going straight for the wind.
Yeah.
But Dean knows that. And so Dean's, like, making these really nice and easy counters to what Ziggler's doing in the beginning. Because Ziggler has gone from, like, I'm going to try and steal the show to I'm going to try and win this match. But he's doing it with such, like, headstronginess where Dean's like, I know you're doing this, so I'll just counter you.
Yeah.
So it works really well. And so then Dean is then being arrogant and, like, showboating and getting inside Ziggler's head because he knows what Ziggler's doing. He had Ziggler tell him his whole plan the weeks leading up. There's, like, so many nice small intricacies to the storytelling of this match. It's amazing.
And like, the build-up, the feud has probably been, like, the best thing on WWE TV.
It's a great fucking feud. So, the part where the match dies is where Brian Alvarez described this as Dean getting the heat and then getting a comeback on himself. And it really is true, because, like, Dean had the heat on him for a while, and then he gets the comeback and does his signature moves of, like, where was it? Fucking way. Where's his signature moves? They're in my notes here somewhere. Yeah, he hits the signature strikes, the running bulldog, and the top rope flying elbow, and the crowd completely died at that moment.
Yeah,
crowd never came back. Absolutely never came back. There's a good spot where Dolph hit Dean with a super kick outside, and then Dean has to, like, help himself up to the barricade to throw himself on it and splay out, which was a little cheesy. And that's cheesy and shitty looking, and you're like, oh no, he had to kind of expose himself to get up there, and then they replay it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I guess
that wasn't their fault.
Yeah. But they had to replay it because the next spot is important, where Dolph Fireman carries Dean inside to beat the count because he has to win. So it's like, hey, this shit, like, everything that was going on in this match made sense.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good match in that regard. Dolph hits zigzag, Dean kicks out, so Ziggler's like, fuck this, I'm just going to beat the shit out of him and put him in a grounded sleeper. Still, Ambrose is able to power out, hits the wacky line. Then the finish to this match happens, and it's not the most graceful thing ever, but commentary hopefully like helped make it better. Dolph, Dean's on top of the turnbuckle. Dolph runs up for a superplex attempt to no avail, but then he runs up a second time and attempts to go for a top rope facebuster, but Dean lands on his feet, which stops it from happening. So Ziggler lands on his feet as well, and then he just hooks the arms and goes and does dirty deeds.
Yeah,
it's not a terrible finish, but if commentary wasn't there to tell you that that's what's happening, you would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It looks like they just jumped down and then hit him with the dirty deeds.
Right.
So, like, commentary needed to be there, and if you were in the live audience and you were already asleep for this match, then you would have even noticed that the finish was about to happen.
Too busy playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah. So, great match. Crowd's dead.
Which kills any great match.
Yeah. Honestly, if the crowd was behind this match, this match would have been fucking awesome. Yeah. But the crowd didn't care, and honestly, I don't blame them. So next we have the 6-woman tag match. We have face Naomi and her new gimmick as a face.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Face Naomi, Carmella, and Becky versus Natty, Alexa Bliss, and Eva Marie. So everyone has their introductions. Yeah. And then Eva Marie's long-winded intro comes out, so her narrator can explain that she's recovering from stress and anxiety from the hostile WWE fans in the British Isles.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to explain her wellness policy suspension. And also, I just like her gimmick of that she's not wrestling anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, there's always an excuse.
I mean, you're taking out the, like, part that we hate most about her, and the fact that she wrestles.
It makes me wonder what the plan for this match actually was.
Right.
Because with taking Eva Marie out, they instead put in Nikki Bella, and there's actually a pretty big pop.
Then eventually the crowd died on her too, because they realized she was kind of bad.
No, she got the only pops of the night.
Yeah.
There was the only things that happened for that match were Nikki Bella things.
Yeah.
She got a pop when she got tagged in, but she got a pop when she showed up. She got a pop when she tagged in. She got a pop when she got the finish.
But each of them slowly were getting worse.
We're talking about 2s and 3s on the scale, but everything else was a 0.
Yeah.
A 0.
Which sucks, because, like, this fucking, the SmackDown's women's division has got to fucking get to where Raw's is. They've got more women. It's just, like, when they spent all the time, like, I don't want to say burying, but more or less burying the 2 main women on the SmackDown roster before the brand split, it's kind of hard to care. Like, if you would have put Sasha on SmackDown and kept Charlotte on Raw,
and like you also like the audience also knows that the belt hasn't shown up yet, so there's really nothing at stake yet, and they're kind of stuck in limbo, which kills a lot of the impact.
Right.
So, but the only thing you need to know about this match is that
Nikki Bella won.
No, you don't even need to know that.
Oh, okay.
You need to know that face Naomi has a new move. The ATM.
What was that?
The ATM. The ass to mouth. Because there's a spot towards the turnbuckle where she reverses by jumping up with her hands on the ropes and putting her legs on Natty's shoulders, like most wrestlers do. Mm-hmm. Then she pulls her knees close, and Natty's face goes directly into her butt cheeks.
Yeah, she's been doing that.
Has she?
Yeah. Yeah, that's an old move.
Maybe it's just because I haven't seen Naomi wrestle in 6 months.
Not only that, but I don't think she was doing it as a heel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When she was face, she used to do it all the time. Like, her entire thing is ass-based offense.
I know. We've had the ass-based offense thing a lot. That's the stupidest move ever.
I do like the name, though.
The ATM?
The name makes me like the move more. Although you could call...
You never withdraw from the ATM.
You could call the rear view the ATM, and I'd probably like it a little more, even though rear view I already think is a good name for it.
It's a good name.
I just hate the move.
I mean...
The ass to mouth, though.
The ATM. The finish of this match is Nikki Bella coming in, delivering a vicious right hook to Carmella, and then doing a TKO to get the victory.
Which was called a TKO.
Yes. As opposed to Kevin Owens' TKO, which was called the Swinging Neckbreaker.
Oh, you know what? It's because his is TKO is face first. That's right, into a cutter.
Oh, okay.
So Kevin Owens is, you could call it an inverted TKO, but his is a neckbreaker variation. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference in what you call it, but it is different.
Yeah. It's funny because according to Wrestling Observer Live, some doctors were saying that the rack attack was the reason for the neck injury for Nikki.
Yeah, and I could see it.
And so, why would you give her a new move that still requires you to start from a fireman's carry?
Well, because the rack attack is putting 100%.
It is. I mean, it's putting a ton of pressure, but like at that point, she's back from injury from her neck. How about you just don't do anything with the neck?
Nah. See, like, a fireman's carry is like one of the easiest things to put someone in. Mm. It's like the easiest lift you can do for a finisher. I mean, I guess if you wanted her to have a scoop slam as a finisher, she could do that.
You could give her the glorious bomb.
But yeah, like, I like that she's doing it.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate that she's doing it. It's just like the logistics there. Like,
yeah.
It was a pretty serious injury.
I mean, these are the same people that put Daniel Bryan in a ladder match as soon as he came back from neck surgery.
Yeah, and had him do the headbutt spot with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that'll get me. Anyways, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the Universal belts. I was first mad because I thought we were still going to have an actual match with the US belt. So I was like, my first part of my notes were me being like, really? But I hadn't internally counted to 12 yet. Or 10 or whatever, how many matches there were. Fucking who cares? And the thing is, at this point, you're still checked out.
Right.
So we get our first look at the Universal belt, and it's ugly as sin.
And the first half of the match, the
crowd
was just shitting on the belt.
Crowd's shitting on the belt.
We had Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, and the fucking crowd was shitting on the belt.
Yeah. Granted, the belt looked really bad that night because the stage lighting was hitting it in a way that not only was the red and gold there, but the lights were bouncing off the gold and making it look like there was purple trim involved. And I was like, this is the most horrific.
Like, I think it does look a lot better on subsequent looks at the belt.
Yeah, now that we've seen it, looks better. It looks
not that I like it a whole lot, but I'm also not one of those guys who is super disappointed because even though, like I've said, I'm a belt mark, I knew right away that it was going to be that design, just with some kind of difference about it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I was super disappointed. I saw it, I was like, oh, that makes sense, and they're going with the red strap. Okay, yeah. I get it.
The only thing I think that bothers me is that the red strap has really, really ugly leather to it. Yeah. It's too distressed, and it looks lumpy and distressed, and it needs to be a clean, flat image, on instead of that bumpity texture.
If anything, I really think because I don't like the fact that the leather is that present on the main plate. Exactly. So when I first saw the
I'm looking at the background, not the belt itself.
When I first saw our newest current our current WWE title, with the black strap, I thought that the black was part of the plate, because it was a flat, it looked flatter, but then I realized, oh fuck, that's the leather. If it would just be part of the plate and be a solid thing, because there's been black on fucking championships before, it doesn't have to be the belt itself. It would just make it look a lot better, and it would also make it look a lot less gaudy if they were to go with the red strap for Raw and then change to a blue strap for SmackDown. Yeah, you would still have the black backgrounds behind the W's.
That's what needs to happen,
and that's what I'd prefer. That way, it would also be an even bigger difference, I think is the word I'm looking for, between contrast with what they did with the women's belts, which were both white straps, and the Raw one's got the red background, which is a plate. Mm-hmm. It's not a part of the belt.
That's why I thought I was with you. I thought the original world was a plate.
And SmackDown's is the same white strap but with a blue background. Mm-hmm. And that's great. So if they could just do a similar thing with the world titles, just replace the coloring instead of being on the plate, being on the strap, it could make a nice little contrast while still being consistent with the overall designs.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to see. But right now, like I mentioned earlier, off camera, off fucking record, I guess, I don't like how the belts are all fucking lopsided in their designs when they're meant to be consistent right now. Because, like, we have a red-strapped Raw World title, a black-strapped SmackDown World title, and then we got a fucking bronze with black strap Raw tag titles, then silver with blue strap. So, like, it's like if the strap is gonna be a part of the brand's belt, then make it for both of the fucking...
Yeah, for consistency's sake, keep this all together.
Like, shit. And, like, even if you were, like, thinking just the world titles, well, maybe SmackDown's gonna have the black straps. Well, that's already fucking proven wrong. Because, like, now you got the blue fucking strap for the, the fucking tag titles.
Which looks great across like, the silver.
I think the tag titles look a lot better than the
Raw ones. Yeah, way better.
But then Raw's got the black strap, and then both women's titles are perfect next to each other. Like, I know a lot of people don't like the design, but they're not going to like the design.
Yeah.
I've already accepted the design. I think it looks...
Design. Those are my favorite belts right now.
Yeah, and I think it looks fine if they're going with that's, if they're going to make it consistent, that design, I think it looks perfect because they both have white straps. They both have fucking the same plates. One has blue background for the blue brand. One has red background for the red brand. And that's how it should be all across the board. Yeah. With the obvious outliers being the Intercontinental and United States title, which, as much as I wouldn't want them to really touch those belts, I guess no, fuck that. Keep those belts the same. Mm-hmm. Maybe for the sake of, like, making the women's titles the white straps, maybe take the Intercontinental title and put the black back on it. Because that was a black belt for a long time. Long time. Even this design they have now, the classic Intercontinental design, that still used to be black. So, like, I liked the white belt, but now that we have the women having their white thing going, it's like, so what? Now is the Intercontinental Champion a woman too?
Yeah.
Did you just assume his gender? And I don't know. I like the design of the white strap on the Intercontinental belt, but again, for the sake of my, like, weird random OCD.
It's not even your OCD. It's fitting in with the internal consistency of the belts as a whole.
Yeah. And that's what I want to see.
Yes. Anyways, on to the match, which we have significantly less to talk about.
Yeah.
So, like, what Luna said is true. The crowd doesn't care about this match anymore because of the belt, the way it looks. And I am guilty of also not caring about this match.
Especially knowing that the main event is Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Which, and I do want to comment on that real quick, that, I mean, for an out of kayfabe type thing, yeah, it sucks. Because, like, we know that match isn't going to be really anything. It's a spectacle, but that's it. But in kayfabe, it's the only match they could have had as the main event. You got one SmackDown guy, one Raw guy. So to lead this dual brand pay-per-view, you got to have both brands represented in the main event. So it makes perfect sense. Obviously, Raw technically won that match, but we knew Brock Lesnar was going to fucking win. So it's like...
It's fine. It's fine in that regard.
Oh, I spoiled the main event. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Like, people fucking listen to us before they actually watch the fucking...
We're recording this like a week after.
Yeah,
I've been a busy man.
Yeah.
Anyways, one of the things I do want to mention about this match in the earlier moments is that commentary is kind of like sending you mixed messages about Finn Balor, because he comes down in the demon outfit and they're like, Finn Balor is tapping into the inner demon that lies inside of him to harness the power. But also his parents are ringside for this match. And it's just like, you fuckers. You absolute fuckers.
They're trying to tell the story of his fucking... Of his, like...
This demon's mom and dad are ringside to watch their demon child win this belt.
Have you ever seen one of those, like...
Has Undertaker ever had his parents pointed out at ringside?
No, but he has brought his wife.
Okay, that's nice.
But that was back when he was the American Badass.
Oh, he was back in Underbiker?
Yeah, Underbiker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When he was Dead Man, fucking the only family he ever had was Kain.
Yeah, and he didn't like to admit that.
Right, not at all.
It's like congratulations commentary on like
fucking ruin.
Like honestly, the demon gimmick Not the
Demon King.
The,
By the way,
yeah.
when I first heard that, I heard that like on the pre-show.
Yeah.
So I heard Seth Rollins versus the Demon Kain.
I did it too.
And I was like, what? No.
Local demon.
So that better be the pre-show.
Yeah,
Move the Universal title match to the pre-show.
Yeah, no, the demon gimmick has been not done very well so far. They showed it on Raw, which there's arguments for and against showing it on Raw, but
I'd be cool with the demon being on Raw, but I don't want the entrance being on Raw.
No, I was cool with the demon being on Raw, but then he just runs in and they brawl, and I'm like, well, that doesn't sell Seth the chicken shit heel as being scared of it, so way to go. Yeah. Way to go. Yeah. And then you have the entrance, which you've already seen now on SummerSlam, and it's just like they automatically bury it by mentioning Finn's mom and dad. It's just like, no one cares. He's just in makeup now. You've done a terrible job selling me that he's now a fucking murderous demon. Yeah. In the rest, no, he's just a normal guy with face paint. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
You fucked it up. You fucked it all up. You completely fucked it up. Seth goes old school and hits a small package driver.
Which was sweet.
Doesn't wake the crowd up.
But it was sweet.
It was sweet, though.
The crowd wasn't dead, to be fair. They were just too busy booing the fuck out of the belt.
They were booing the belts, and then after about 10 minutes of booing the belt, they had a 5-minute lull of just not caring because they hadn't been paying attention to the match. And then once the match hits the third act, then they're into it.
Came back a little bit.
Yeah, they came back. But I still was out of it just because, that's too much wrestling. Yeah. In a sense, I'm glad the main event was the way it was because, I couldn't handle a main event match at that point. I was like, I don't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about the match. I honestly didn't give a shit about the match when the main event happened. Anyways, Finn wins. He's your first Universal Champion. I didn't care about the match at all. Belt sucked. Commentary fucked everything up. Crowd was out of it. It's another thing where, if the crowd was behind this match from go to ends, I probably would have thought it was great. Yeah. But it's you know what? I'm not a professional wrestling critiquer. I'm a fan. Yeah. And when the fans aren't into the match, I'm not into the match. Yeah. I can't look through it in a vacuum and be like, this was an amazing match. If it was an amazing match, then the crowd's got to be behind them.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, though, the day after. The day after. Fucking Finn gets vacant, wins the title yet again because Finn fucked his shoulder up.
Depending on, we talked about this before we went on air. So there was a running buckle bomb into the barricade, and depending on what you want to see out of this, it could be interpreted as maybe either Seth's fault or Finn's fault.
I'm going with Finn's.
With most likely it being Finn's fault.
I'm going with Finn's.
It depends on how things happened that no one else would know about. Yeah. Basically, Seth does the running buckle bomb to Finn on the barricade. As Finn is in air, he leans back on one side and turns his head and throws his shoulder out and arm out, as if he is going to hook his arm over the barricade as he lands, which seems like the intention. He's way too far away from the barricade, so his shoulder just gets trapped behind him and gets dislocated. Yeah. And he relocates it, and his shoulder's fucked. His shoulder's completely fucked. He needs surgery. He's out 6 months, so he had to vacate.
It's that long?
6 months.
Damn.
He's fucked.
Well, so much for your fucking number, 5 draft pick?
Yeah. Way to go. But the fact that he moved back as if to hook his arm around the barricade tells me that might have been part of the spots. Where Seth throws him to the barricade, and then he lands on it, and his arms are behind it, so he's up on the barricade, still suspended, and then Seth hits him with something there.
See, I don't think that was the case. What I think might have happened was miscommunication in the form of, I don't think this spot was discussed. Mm-hmm. I thought this might have been a spot that was just called in the ring, where Seth was like, all right, I'm going to buckle bomb you into the barricade. Yeah. So that's what Finn heard. So he might have assumed, okay, I'm going to fucking be up against the barricade.
Because normally when you take a buckle bomb, you hook your arms around the rope.
Yeah. But any buckle bomb we've ever seen Seth do against the barricade was not like that.
No.
Like, Dean has taken 15 of them. You know, it's always ended with him on the floor, you know? So that couldn't have been something that, like, it just must have been Finn not necessarily knowing what he was supposed to do, went with his gut instinct, because, like, this is what normally happens when we do barricade spots, and then he made the wrong call. Yeah. But I don't put the blame on Seth.
No, I'm outlining this because I feel like there might be an outlier debate where you could see Seth being at fault for this, for releasing the buckle bomb too soon. If there was a planned spot where he's supposed to arm hook the barricade.
Yeah, if that was the plan.
Small chance, most likely it's just, and even saying that Finn's at fault is wrong.
Yeah, like, you don't fucking, you know.
But the case in point is people are saying...
it's your fault you were injured, like, you know.
People are saying that Seth might be unsafe worker, specifically those people being Bret Hart.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry, Bret Hart. Not everyone can have 100% we didn't injure someone completion rating on their career.
Yeah, and in fairness, his matches were boring. I don't give a fuck. You can hate me all you want, but I have never... The only Bret Hart match I'd ever enjoyed was the one with Austin.
Yeah.
That was it. The motherfucker was safe. Most certainly was safe, but he wasn't fun. Like, you could sit... Because, like, I did not watch wrestling back then, right? All of my shit was past that point. So everything I see him do is just a slower, more boring version of the shit I see today. And you could, it's probably because I'm a shitty millennial, but just saying. Like,
man's got his reasons.
Fucking, you know, whatever.
Anyways, Finn was the champion for all of 24 hours, not even. Had to vacate it, and then they set up a tournament, and as of tonight's August 29th recording, which was not, it's not going up August 29th.
Triple H is the new Universal Champion.
Triple H is pretty much your new Universal Champion, but he instead was charitable and gave it to Kevin Owens.
Right.
I'm not fucking kidding.
Comes in, pedigrees Roman Reigns, he gets pinned by Rollins. Then he pedigrees Rollins, he gets pinned by Owens. Triple H won that match.
Triple H won the match. There was a fatal 4-way for the belt. For Roman Reigns, Big Cass, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins, and Triple H won the match, despite not even being in it.
And you know what? Back to Bret Hart. That motherfucker thinks that Triple H is a 4 out of 10 wrestler. He just won a match he wasn't even in. With 2 moves.
Triple H has been gone for half a year, and he's scratching at his neck like, I need to put myself over. I can't go this long without putting myself over someone. It's just like... the most Triple H bullshit of all Triple H bullshit. He fucking puts himself into a fatal 4-way match for the championship, beats some guys, and then gives the belt to someone else in act of charity.
Yeah.
It's so fucking comical.
Now, before people get confused, we know he wasn't in the match officially.
No.
He was not a competitor. Because, like, the way we worded it, you know. But no. That was hilarious. I loved it.
I loved it, but I also hated it.
I loved it because Kevin Owens.
No, I loved it because Kevin Owens.
And I also called it right before it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, he's turning on Seth. He's fucking turning on Seth. And then he did. And it was great. Great. I liked it.
Does this mean we get a Seth babyface run?
Maybe.
I'd like to see it.
Because you know he's going to be feuding with Triple H then.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm down.
Like, and like, I could see it being... Because, like, he fucked over Roman, too.
Yep.
It's like, I could see it being a very, what's the word? Unwilling?
Unwilling, yeah.
A partnership, basically, between those two.
The enemy of your enemy is my
friend, yes. Yeah. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mm-hmm. So, like, I could definitely see those two pairing up, you know, not wanting to, but still, like, doing it. Maybe still kind of feuding with each other because it's like, I want to take him out. No, I want to take him out.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Then eventually, like, maybe they end up pairing up to face fucking a tag team of Owens and Triple H. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, but it seems like...
But it's going to involve Reigns too, at some extent.
Of course.
To some extent.
Speaking of Reigns, your dead spot match for the evening is...
Match?
Air quotes, match. Roman Reigns versus Rusev for the United States title.
Yeah.
Because people were like, you gave a 20-minute match on Raw, so what are you going to do for the pay-per-view?
Oh, nothing.
That's probably the best thing. Actually, it is. Roman comes out with a blue tint version of his vest.
Yeah.
But he's on Raw.
Yeah.
His left hand wasn't talking to the right hand there.
Yep.
The bell never rings as Rusev attacks Roman, and they just fucking brawl outside forever. Roman beats the living tar out of Rusev, and the refs escort Roman to the back as Rusev's lying down, doing a kind of pathetic selling of having busted ribs. If you have busted ribs, you're actually going to be in massive pain and not just like gripping your side and being like, go away, ref, I don't want you. That's what you have when you have a busted heart and you're a 13-year-old. Go away, Mom, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, and I know what that's like because I suffer from that to this day.
Go away, Mom, I want to watch wrestling.
I will always be 13.
Crowd starts a "We Want Slater" chant because the whole segment's bullshit. No one cares.
And it's awesome because we did want Slater.
Yeah, honestly. Slater's more over than most people at this point.
Right.
The ring announcer lets us know that the ringside doctor has told Rusev he's not cleared for action. So, that's the end of that. Roman comes down the ramp at full speed and actually delivers a highlight reel spear to Rusev.
Yeah, and that's all he's really good for at this point. Because it's like, he's done that spot, like, I can point out 3 times, including this one, already, you know? How many more times is he going to do that?
It was a great spear, and it was a great way to end a 10-minute, who gives a literal fuck, dead spot.
Yeah.
Crowd checked out 3 matches ago.
Yeah.
And then we lead to our main events. Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton.
In a Randy takes no bumps fucking match. Which, I mean, like, he did take bumps, but watching him take those suplexes, you can tell he didn't assist Lesnar at all.
No. So, an actual match tries to happen for about 10 minutes as Brock delivers 4 or 5 of the world's softest Brock suplexes. Like, you can...
And they're really only soft because, again, Randy's not assisting because if he assists, that means he's got to jump.
Yeah.
And if he jumps, his body's going to be straight, which means he'll land on his shoulders. He cannot and will not land on his shoulders. So, what he does is he gets grabbed, and then as he's getting deadlifted up by Lesnar with no assist at all, Randy hunches forward so that when he takes the suplexes, he takes them flat on his back.
Yep.
That is exactly why he does that. I understand why he does that. I'm not going to fucking knock him for doing it like that. But every time he did it, I was like, Brian, watch. Because I was with Brian. I was like, Brian, watch. Yep, flat on his back. Motherfucker's not helping at all. Luckily, it's Brock Lesnar, so he doesn't need to help at all.
No. The best part of this match, if you're counting the actual match segment, was after they're done brawling to the outside and trying to get some table spots going that don't pan out because the tables don't break.
Randy is like the fucking undisputed king of hitting his finisher on a table that won't break.
Yep. He hits the RKO on Brock on a table and the table's just like,
and I think that's just like fucking, I don't want to say karma, but probably karma. Mm-hmm. Because like, he's fucked over like so many people for being a diva and like, oh, you hurt me. And like, he doesn't want to fucking take fucking big ass suplexes. Fair enough. So he goes, he's like, all right, I'm going to hit my finishing move. It's going to break. It's not going to be that bad. Let's do it. And then he fucking does it. Solid ass fucking table meets his shoulders.
Yep.
And like, you can just see the anger in his eyes. Like, fucking again. Why do I keep agreeing to these spots?
For those who are not in the know, doing a spot on a table and having it break makes it softer.
Yeah.
Because the table breaks your fall.
Yeah.
So,
but if the table doesn't break your fall, it's just a fall.
It's just a fall. It's a bump on a hard table.
Yeah.
But once they get back inside, Randy hits the best draping DDT of his career.
Yeah.
It was great looking.
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, so we get to the finish of this match where Brock nails him with an F5 and Randy kicks out and Brock's like, cool, we'll play with my rules. Takes the MMA gloves off, puts a mount on Randy and just ground and pounds the living piss out of him.
Yeah.
And that with what is most important, 2 massive elbows across the eyebrows. He cuts the living daylights out of Randy.
Piss.
He is just bleeding. He sliced him up hard way with 2 elbows and the dude is just gushing blood.
Yeah.
And so there's the the doctors coming in, cleaning him up, and the Brock getting past the refs and still beating him up. And then eventually Brock wins via TKO.
Not like Nikki's TKO.
No, not that TKO.
Even though both TKOs targeted the same part of the body.
Yeah, technical knockout, victory to Brock Lesnar after he hard way juices the motherfucker out of Orton's head. Orton had to go home with 10 stitches.
Yeah.
And post-match, Brock continues to beat up Randy. Shane comes into the ring like he's going to do something. And then Brock F5s Shane because we need a reason for Brock to not show up the next night, even though they don't explain that anyways.
Yeah.
So, fun fact. Randy Orton went to SummerSlam thinking he was actually going to work a main event match.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he really?
He did. Yeah.
He must not watch the product.
He did, yeah. He was like, me and Brock are going to have this great main event match, and they're like, no. But he agreed to be cut up by Brock.
Did
right
he?
Away.
Is this from the desk of Dave Meltzer?
This is live from the desk of Dave Meltzer.
Damn.
So, that's it for SummerSlam. How did you feel about it?
I mean, fucking AJ versus Cena.
Yeah, AJ versus Cena.
That's like all I need.
This is the thing.
Honestly,
is like,
from this pay per view, yeah.
Yeah. The thing with SummerSlam is that it's WrestleMania with 1/10 the importance, but all of the length.
Yeah. Like, normally my biggest complaint about WWE pay-per-views that don't necessarily go my way is usually because, like, the wrong guy won,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the matches were good, but the wrong guy won normally. But really the only instances of, like, wrong guy winning this pay-per-view I can think of off the top of my head is, like, The Miz, obviously. And then, I had another. Oh yeah, fucking Nikki Bella winning her match.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I still understand why she comes back. Needs that fucking. But still, it's like,
the thing with the women's match was like, well, if Eva Marie was here, what was the plan?
Yeah.
Eva
I mean,
Marie
it was a throwaway match anyway.
Yeah, it was, honestly.
So like
matter.
anyone else could have won.
And honestly, in the long run, would not have mattered who won.
So we do have the 2 tournaments. For the 2 new belts. Who do you think are going to take those?
Well, American Alpha for one.
Yeah, hopefully.
And
but in all honesty, you kind of want to hope that Slater and Rhino win it.
So I think Slater and Rhino will get to the finals.
Yeah,
but they won't.
And
win.
then Heath will get a pity contract.
No,
because you did so good. You think they're gonna draw it out?
Dude, they've got legs.
They've got legs on
this.
Right.
It's over shit.
You're right.
This has got legs.
You're right. And he gets to be on both shows.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Honestly, Rhino and Slater will get to the finals and they'll lose to American Alpha, and Heath will go back to being a free agent, which is what's best for him because right now he's over. He is legitimately over.
Yeah. Heath is normally over anytime he does something.
Yeah.
Like he's been in the shittiest spot, but people love him.
Yeah. Let that shit rock. He's been.
I'd like to think American Alpha win it too, just to kind of be the competitive fucking champions that a new belt needs.
Yeah, and for women's, Becky, just give it to me.
I need it.
I need it. Becky, give it to me.
I need the lady in red to get some blue.
Well, don't say that because that's Eva Marie.
I mean, she's lady in red.
Yeah.
The red her.
She's got
the red her.
Orange hair.
I mean, in fairness, Eva Marie is all red everything, then why is she fucking on SmackDown?
I know. All the Eva Marie booking choices are just like, it's like,
it's so questionable.
It's comically wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, SmackDown was just a case of like,
SmackDown?
It's too much. Not SmackDown. SummerSlam. It's a case of just too much.
Summerfest.
There's so much on this card and so little for me to make me care.
Yeah.
That even by having the card be this long, you make me now not care about the things that I wanted to care about. Yeah. And it's not just me, everyone else.
And like the reason why it was like this is because SummerSlam happened at the worst possible time because it's the first pay-per-view after the brand split. Mm-hmm. So they need to get things started, and these things that they just got started, so it doesn't feel like these feuds were SummerSlam feuds.
Yeah.
Especially when even though it's all about for example, Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is a champion. He was the champion before the brand split. Mm-hmm. So they're already saying, okay, this belt is still important because look, it's the belt. So SmackDown means something. And then you put Dolph Ziggler in there. So the implication is that, well, we made Dolph Ziggler look good as fuck in the build-up of this feud, which was great. And he's going after the big belt that's been big for the last fucking, 2-3 years, I think?
Yeah.
And, they did all the right things, but it still wasn't enough because it's this is SummerSlam. And we know this is still a filler feud for Dean because we know he's not losing.
Nope.
So, you made Dolph look great. There's absolutely no complaints about the booking for this particular build-up. But we still knew, and we were right. If Dolph would have won, then it would have been oh, fuck, what? What just happened? But I still probably would have been upset because Dean lost already. But, yeah, they were in a spot where it's okay, Dean just won. He just beat the fucking Shield. You know he's not going to lose Dolph Ziggler right away. And they didn't even give him a second match. It's now going to be Dean versus AJ.
Yep.
And AJ very well might win.
Yeah.
So this match, AJ versus Dean, I'm fine with any outcome. I don't mind at all who wins this. And I know it's going to be great because AJ's in there. Dean can still go, no matter what anyone wants to fucking say about him. But AJ in there.
Haters can at me.
Right. Haters can at me. At the only LunaKage.
At the Mr. You, at Mr. You Suck. MRUSUK. Yeah, no, I'm excited. SummerSlam was a unfortunate victim to the draft, but in the same regard, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Too fucking much. And that's it for me. That's kind of why I wanted to blow through the review for this in Brooklyn, because both pay-per-views just felt like I don't care, and I have no reason to care.
The length of both of our shows was about the length of one of our shows.
Yeah.
This took about an hour?
This took an hour.
For this one?
Hour and 7 minutes I'm currently at.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to cap it right here. So we'll be back after we discuss how we're going to be doing these brand-specific pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's going to be... We still haven't decided.
We haven't decided
how we're going to do it.
Figure out something. But anyways, signing off, it's Mr. You Suck.
The only LunaKage.
You'll check us later. Haters can at me.
Haters can at me.